Order. We pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Supervisor Chase.
Here.
Councilman Barber.
Here.
Councilman Gray.
Here.
Councilman Clare.
Here.
Councilman Barron.
Yeah.
Okay. This is our organizational meeting for the town of Dannemora for year 2019. We've got Liz here to talk about the salt storage and wastewater grants, and in your packets there's a proposed couple contracts from Liz, but we'll let her go into the spiel.
As for the wastewater planning grant for the Lime Mountain treatment plant, it's going to be a DEC mandate to install effluent disinfection. So the grant is to getting an engineering report to be prepared to make that happen. It's a $30,000 grant. The grant proposal included the project costs to include the application fees that I charge the town for preparing the application. So once the contract for the grant is signed, you will get reimbursed for my costs for that. You'll be sent 50% of the total grant, $15,000 up front, which will obviously reimburse you for my services and give you money to pay the engineers while they work on it. And then once the engineering report is completed and submitted, you'll get the other $15,000, and then you'll be ready to apply for the next type of grant to install the disinfection. So it's pretty straightforward, easy grant to deal with. The engineers deal with almost everything. I put a cost estimate for grant administration in for $500. I don't even think it'll probably get there. It'll probably be maybe 5 hours worth of my time to assist the town and the engineers in submitting the proper paperwork. So that one's pretty easy and straightforward. All I would need is something from the town board to say that the town wants to accept the grant so that we can let EFC and DEC know that that is the town's intent, and they requested that information 3 weeks from the date of the letter that you should have got, which was dated December 21st. So we should let them know by this Friday whether the town intends to accept the grant.
Do they need a resolution, or do they just want to?
You just have something official from the town, whether from you or from me on the town's behalf, saying you intend to accept the grant and who your point of contact is going to be.
That needs to be a letter, with us signing the letter?
It doesn't even have to be, it can be an email, but I would need the town's approval to send that email on your behalf.
Okay. I make that motion to give her the approval.
I'll second that.
Yes.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Really appreciate it.
Done deal, then that'll be off and running. That won't take a lot from the council to get this to happen. It's really going to be more the engineers working with your wastewater operators to make that happen. There is a resolution that's required for that, but that doesn't have to be done tonight. That can be done at your next board meeting. The resolution gives Bill permission, William Chase, permission to sign the paperwork for the grant. The town has a 20% maximum match, which is up to $6,000, which will most likely be completely in in-kind services. The time that the wastewater operators spend working with the engineers to get the required information together, so there should be no out-of-pocket costs to the town for that. Even though it says in the resolution maximum $6,000, that really shouldn't be out-of-pocket money. And a secret determination is also included. Basically, there is no secret determination needed because it's an engineering study. It's not really a project, so it's an unlisted action, and that's what the resolution says. So I gave Bill a draft of that for your next meeting, and once that's done, that'll be a done deal and be turned over to the engineers to run with.
And the engineering company we're talking about is AES, right?
Yes.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yes, how we use them in the past, yeah.
Well, and because they're the ones that built that facility too, so.
Right.
And they worked with us on the grant application, so they're completely familiar with what needs to be done, and they have done the effluent disinfection projects on several other wastewater treatment facilities, so they're other grant is the WQIP, Water Quality Improvement Program for a salt storage facility. The maximum grant is $500,000, which was awarded to the town. Sometime in the next month or so, we'll get all the appropriate paperwork to say the town wants to accept that one. It has to go through the state comptroller's office first to have everything approved. The cost estimates that we put in are flexible because they were based on an idea of what we thought we would build. The maximum cost in the application was $1,200,000. So the town would be responsible for the $700,000 of that, and you get the $500,000 from the grant. That can change depending on what the town actually decides to build. The estimate was based on what we thought the best type of structure was and the size that would be needed to accommodate the amount of sand and salt that gets put up every year. So a meeting should be had with the selected engineer and potentially the highway superintendent and whoever from the board wants to be there to nail out the details of what exactly you want to build so you have an actual specific cost estimate moving forward.
Money-wise, that was comparable to Beekman Town's storage building.
It's smaller. It's the same type of building, but it's smaller. Beekman Towns was meant to hold 12,000 cubic yards, and I think the cost estimates for this were meant to hold 7. So it's not quite half. It's the same type of building though, the 12-foot concrete walls and the structured roof and everything.
What was your cost, you know?
Excuse me?
Do you know the cost of your building?
It was over $2 million,
It was.
or just under.
That's not
I remember thinking $2 million.
That's just flabbergasting. Yeah, but they got a 200-foot by 80-foot wide building.
It's the size of a football field.
Yeah, they put all their plows, slusher blades, everything in there, and have all the room for their build too.
And that's part of the considerations as to what you build and how you intend to use it, whether you're going to be loading your plow trucks and sifting sand inside the building
It was
or
designed to back a
outside.
tractor trailer in there and dump.
Yeah. Those decisions are yet to be determined, but pretty much the cost estimate was based on the same type of facility. And I gave a cost estimate for grant administration for that to be just under $10,000 because I really don't know how much of that I will need to do because that will be based on who the engineer is and how much the engineer does. I put in a sizable cost estimate because I thought that the town would prefer to save money, and if there's things that I can do for my fee versus an engineer doing it for an engineer's fee, you'd be better off paying me to handle the paperwork than having them handle the paperwork at twice the cost. So that's up to the town. You know, we could scale that back. I don't think it'll be near that amount, but depending on who the engineering firm is, they could either do it all, or I could do most of it, or we could work together to do it.
You said Beacon Town is a hard structured roof or is cover up?
A truss roof with 16, I think they have 16-foot concrete walls, almost 2 foot wide.
And metal, I think it's a metal roof on that one?
Should be shingle roof on that.
Shingle then. Yeah, and I think the only town around here that went with a fabric cover roof was Village of Champlain, town of Champlain.
Chattagay's got one too.
Yeah,
Do
they-
they?
very limited time on those, a lot of maintenance on them. Those guys that, we did them through the state of New York and built concrete walls, stud walls up with wood, truss roof, shingles, tops, and we found out that they held up.
I know some of the issues with, I know Peru had a fabric covered one, and the company who built it, or who provided the actual fabric, they went out of business. So when the fabric ripped, they were kind of, where do we go now?
There's a preventive maintenance that you have to go out there and they have to be ratchet strapped and they have to be tightened down. There's so many pounds per pressure and tightened down. And if you don't do that, then they exist your warranty on them.
Yeah, I know that their warranties are similar to a regular shingle roof. You know, shingles have, what, 15 years?
Ultraviolet light, the canopies are only like 15 years.
And they're susceptible to wind damage, depending on your site. which up here, I would imagine gets kind of windy. But cost-wise, they are less than a traditional roof structure. But again, that would be a decision for the town to make when it comes time to pick exactly what you're going to design.
Okay, engineering company, do we want to go with AES again on this?
I'm not sure where, maybe we wanna reach out, see where they went with Beekman Town on that. Roger Perry, what he
AES
did.
was the engineer for Beekman Town.
They were, yeah.
We met with, Bill and I met with Andy Abdella and with Casey Dickinson from Bernard Carr, who I think is doing your oil-water separator. So we did talk to several different engineering firms. Andy Abdella did not provide enough information for a viable application. Cost estimates from Bernard Carr and AES were pretty close to the same. One is close, one is not. That's a cost consideration. But again, that's the town's decision. Both engineering firms have built these structures before and are familiar with them.
You got transportation and whatever for, right. And AES, well, we've worked with them, and they've, you know,
They're good, but whoever you hire and somebody comes in, if we can work our township with those people, we can save a lot of money to help work with them, because there's a lot of work to be done. If that has to be done there, that pile has to be removed, it's gotta go away. You know, there's a lot of things in play that we can help out, other than add all those extended costs to us.
right, I understand that. So you're gonna be on that committee.
All right, Shirley.
Well, obviously, any engineer you hire is going to work closely with the
Yes,
town.
and we can save any money any way we can, I understand.
And because the town has to supply a minimum of 50% of total project costs regardless,
Yes.
any in-kind services
So that
that the
goes
town
back,
finds
that is a
appropriate
50%,
can go toward that.
theirs, ours, on that.
Yeah. 50/50.
It's $1 million shed, and then we gotta put $1 million on it.
Yeah, we're not gonna put up a $2 million shed.
No, just figured speech goes.
Okay.
If it's $1 million shed, you're putting up 500,000 and the grant's putting up 500,000. 50%.
All right, well, are we all in agreement of AES then?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a new track record with them.
Yeah.
Need a motion?
No, I don't think we do. Didn't do a motion on the other one.
All right.
Huh?
Probably not yet, when the paperwork comes through.
Yeah, I
They will, I will let them know they've been selected and they will supply you with a contract for it.
Yeah,
Then
we'll
we'll
motion that.
motion the contract.
Yeah, okay.
But we gotta see the cost we can make. Right, their cost.
Well, the cost estimates were, like I said, between AES and Bernard Carr, they were roughly the same, around 1,200,000.
Okay.
So, like I said, that will change once you hire them and meet with them to develop an in-depth budget that can be adjusted at that time. But you have to hire the engineer first.
Okay, well, we do need a motion in regards to taking on Liz on both of these projects. We've got 2 contracts from her. I don't know.
I'll make that motion to pick up Liz for the,
A second, Tim's motion for this
Are these both going to be
self-storage.
resolution?
Yeah, we'll make it one resolution for 2
Self-storage,
contracts, one salt.
wastewater.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? Roll call, Bill?
Yes.
Jim?
yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Okay.
And thank you for your work you've done.
Yeah, thank you. That's wonderful work, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
One question. What it cost us for you to write that grant? Or both these? Is that something that can be reimbursed or
The
no?
original engineering planning grant you're getting reimbursed for because that program reimburses that. The WQIP for the salt storage does not reimburse those
Okay.
costs. But any future costs will be included in project costs.
Right.
So they will go toward the town's contribution.
Okay. All right, very good.
If nobody else has any questions?
All right, thanks a lot, Liz.
Thank you. I'll be in touch.
Keep talking.
Okay,
Number 4, resolution approval of the 2019 town board meeting schedule. It's, everybody's got a copy. It's January 23rd, February 27th, March 27th, April 24th, May 22nd, June 26th, July 24th, August 28th, September 25th, October 23rd, November 20th is the week ahead of Thanksgiving, and so is December 18th. And actually, it works out well because there's actually 4 weeks between all those meetings.
Okay, I'll make the resolution to approve this meeting schedule for 2019.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Now you're opposed?
Yeah, last minute, again, we walk in the meeting and then
What do you mean last minute?
last minute, this is the first time I've seen this when I walked in here.
This is an organizational meeting, Jim. This is where it takes place every year, and it has since you've been on the board.
I know, so we've been.
It's every fourth Wednesday of the month.
You didn't come up with this dates today, Bill, so, no, I'm saying no.
Well, you wanna know something, Jim, write an email or maybe make a phone call.
I could,
Yeah,
I could,
don't put it on me.
no, that's my answer.
Resolution to approve the supervisor's appointments. A, B, and C. We can all put in one resolution. Supervisors, confidential secretaries, Leslie Dans. Budget officers, myself, William Chase. And the deputy supervisor is Martha Sweeney.
Has she been doing okay? I haven't seen her last couple meetings.
Yeah, she was
She
here.
was here last meeting.
She was here at the last meeting.
I didn't see her. Okay,
I don't think you were at the last meeting, Joey.
maybe not. No. Could be.
She doesn't like going
No,
out.
actually, I was not.
No, you weren't. Remember, you had the
We had a
wedding.
wedding.
Yep.
You had the wedding to get ready for.
Need a resolution for those three?
Those three.
B and C.
Yeah, I'll make that resolution for those three appointments.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, committee appointments. Left some things blank here this year. Budget, finance, administration is myself. Cedar Lake Beach and Parks, I've got myself down there. Last year, Joey Barron. I don't know if you wanted to continue. Somebody else wanted to take that part. Collect, I had Joey and Steve DeBray. And once again, possibility of some changes. Dannemora Fire Department, and we added EMS to this. That's going to require 2 people. Jimmy Barber was there last year. Especially in regards to whoever steps into that, I would expect them to be involved in the
New organization.
new EMS program that's going to take place starting 2020.
It's big, the EMS, the fire department, I don't have a problem stepping in, I'll try to learn what I can for the EMS, but, I have a problem putting my name in there for.
So we'll put Steve and Jimmy in there.
Dannemora.
On D?
Yeah, on D. Cedar Lake Beach and Parks, I'd like to recommend that we put Leslie in there as opposed to a board member, because she's available, especially during, or,
What?
yeah,
No, which one?
she's a
She's
Lake
like
Beach and
teacher
Parks.
parks.
Well, you're at the phone, so.
Yeah. You did the lifeguard.
Yeah, I'm
Or
opposed.
Okay, so the only question I have is, what's gonna happen with the scheduling? Will you do the scheduling, Bill, or?
No, Leslie does the scheduling. I'm looking for somebody that's gonna be able to, it's gonna stop in over there type of thing, check on the lifeguards. I've done it.
I think your job's not,
I already do some pen over there, and they call me every day if they need something on your.
Yeah, we need somebody to be more or less like an administrator for them over there, more available.
That's fine, have them secretary instead of a board member, I don't know, so.
Yeah, yes, they can.
Okay.
We could be Debbie if she wanted to do it.
I've been there, done that.
No, I
Just
mean,
curious, I
appointments and just for somebody to help out. So we're gonna pencil in Leslie there, right?
And I
So-
can help Leslie when she needs it.
Okay, Cecil Lake Collect, they were kind of active, you know, and we had Joey and Steve in there last year, and
I wanna stay on it.
you're gonna stay on it? Well, when I need, if one of yous can't make the meeting, one of yous has gotta start stepping up and taking on the meetings that they have. And they're generally during the day, at 10 o'clock in the morning at St. Germain's house.
Maybe I'll start having them on frickin' Saturdays.
Well,
They probably can.
Say what, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
They
it's-
But that's,
got that power washer, it's been delivered, it's here.
we've got the power washer, we've got, they've got the possibility of finishing up their boat.
If that power washer's here, who owns that equipment?
We do, the town. Collect is an advisory committee to the board.
So that hasn't been used this year.
No, we bought it at the end of the year.
So it's a point that if it does get used and it does come back here, it has to be a point that it's stayed in a warm atmosphere, or it's gotta be drained, or they can ruin a lot of equipment.
Got that.
Yeah. Okay, Jcl Outreach, Steve, you were there last year, do you want to continue there?
yeah, I'm fine with that, so. I know Brenda well, so and she'll call me.
Right, we worked with Brenda at Lime Mountain Correctional, so.
Yeah.
Okay, Lime Mountain Fire Department and EMS. Myself, I guess I'll throw in there because, well, we've got a meeting with EMS here Thursday night, me and Joey.
You enjoy,
This is Lime Mountain end of things.
oh, it's like mountain.
Yeah. We've got two different areas of EMS being worked on, but affecting our entire town. But different groups involved, and the village end is the village, Saranac, Black Brook, and us. On the other end, it's Ellenburg, Saranac, and us. Okay, Lime Mountain Sewer and Water, I put myself in there. Public Health is Byron Wing. Wireless cell phone broadband, myself. Youth Commission, we got Ally Green, and I've talked to Leslie about this one. We want to use Leslie once again as the go-between for us. Leslie has pretty good rapport with Ally, and Ally sometimes can be a little touchy in dealing with her, so we want the softer approach as opposed to me.
Yeah, but you're related and she's not, so.
Well,
A lot of
related,
stuff has to do
but-
with purchases too, and
yeah, but
Leslie takes care of that, so.
no, it's actually, to tell you the truth, and Miss Green needs a little bit of a fire burned under her, and me and Leslie have talked about that, and because we raised her up in salary last year, and I think that she needs to get a little bit more active in the youth commission end of things, and providing on programs or whatever, activities of some kind for the youth. Chattagay Lake Control Board, Joe, you're there? Dannemora Water and Sewer, Jim Barber. Town Highway, Jim Barber, Joey Barron. Ledger's Corner Water District, Steve, that's you, were there last year, I believe, and you're back there again?
Yeah, I would.
All right, and the last thing is Grant Committee, Town Board. But, when we were talking with Liz here, salt storage in particular, I think it needs, your knowledge, Mr. Barber. What do you think? I mean,
I'm thinking that if we're gonna hire AES to come in here,
they're gonna have to sit down with board members.
there's gonna be construction people in here, somebody's gonna have to pay close attention to this as to what goes on.
Well, the preliminary stuff as to what was gonna be decided, what's gonna be built, I need your input. You know more about this kind of stuff than I do.
I have input to it, but I think it may result in maybe more than my input into it. I work 40 hours a week, I don't know that
Well,
I can put all I can into this, but we may wanna assign somebody into this that can be here on a regular daily basis to
Well-
watch and monitor what's going on.
that could fall under Tim Graves.
That could fall under somebody that has that knowledge to watch what's going on.
Jerry
Well,
Ryan,
almost like a clerk of the works.
Joe
What
Ryan.
you're talking about?
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna throw any names out there, but something has to be done, and if this follows through, then we'll pick somebody.
yeah,
I'll-
I'm talking, I know where you're at, but there's a preliminary start where we gotta get and decide the building and the spot and all that kind of stuff. I know what you're talking about.
Somebody's holding all that paperwork, watching all that paperwork and that engineering development. I can be here and watch them dig and whatever. We have a our oil separator tank that needs to go in. That's coming. This building needs to go in. We have a big hole in the ground. There's a lot of things in play here.
Right, okay.
We have a lot of drainage that goes off this building. We need almost certain people that are in play with this to stay with us throughout this.
Are you talking the engineering group itself?
No, there's,
Are you talking somebody like Loare or Robbie Tripp?
No, the construction guys, digging guys, I don't know. Maybe Bill, I don't know. Somebody who's got,
Bill Donahue?
maybe somebody engineered enough to watch and see things go through. Watch their paperwork. It's not watch their digging, it's watch their paperwork as this goes. Because every dollar we spend, they spend.
Well,
And we got geothermal, we got a silo site, we got a oil separator we want, we have a big pile of sand out here, we have limited room, and we've got a drainage ditch that runs into the Shazy Lake. I think we need to monitor that.
well, it's,
For,
all the things you're talking about were here when they put the building up too.
I know that, but you see what it is trying to put an oil separator in there. It needs to be monitored by somebody.
We get closer.
I can look over it, I can oversee it,
Project.
but I'm not saying that.
But it's, well, I don't know if it's what you're talking about, it's an added cost though. Because when we hire the engineering, what you're talking to me about, to me, sounds like when you hire the engineering people, that's who should be paying attention to all this stuff, and that's why we're paying.
You need a spot on guy. If Tim Graves is the guy, I'm not saying their name, if Tim Graves is the guy to watch over it, then so be it, he is. I don't know if I can be over that. Like I said, I work.
Well, I'm more concerned
Joey
about,
works,
I'm more concerned about what we gotta do to get to the construction part, to putting it out to bid.
Well, we can do that here.
Yeah.
We can handle that, Jim. When the actual, we're just worried about when the actual work starts.
When the actual work
Yeah,
starts.
no, I'm not worried about the actual work.
Alright.
I'm more worried about making the right decisions on what type of building, and what the size of the walls that are gonna be, you know?
We can work on that together as long as you keep Billy on this. If that was his project, that was his grant, right?
No, it was Liz.
All those Liz's?
Yes.
So then we need to keep her on that.
Yeah, that's what, well, I hired her.
So then we can keep her on board along with, like I said, I've looked at beeping downs and different things. We could stay on board, a couple of us here.
Okay.
And keep her on board. But
Yeah.
somebody's gotta stay on cue on that project.
Okay, well, that's
Because
part
if
of
you
her.
don't- If you don't commit to yourselves, then you lose that grant money. And
Well,
you've gotta follow in a systematic.
I think, yeah, what you're talking about, I understand. That's gonna be Liz's responsibility. We're hiring her to help us administer this grant.
And we get AES in here, and we get contractors in here, and they gotta do this. This has to be completed just like you're building a home on,
Right. All right. Well, okay. So we need a motion for the committee appointments from A to P.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right. The next one is a resolution to approve town Dannemora positions. The town attorney is Matt Fabro, Register of Vital Statistics. Deborah Coyer. Deputy Town Clerk, Tax Collector, and Registrar, Rebecca Langlois. Code Enforcement, Safety Officers, Byron Wayne. Dog Control Officers, Danielle Patno. Shazy Lake Gatekeeper, Arthur Whitbeck. Assessor, Trevor Finley. Court Clerk, Rebecca Langlois. Town Historian, Americo Vespavetta. The Board of Assessment and Review Committee is Gary Hart, Mary Brassard, Charlotte West. Chattahoochee Lake Water Control Board, Lloyd Bailey, Ray Seymour, Jim Johnson. Neglect Committee, Judy LaPointe, Gary Jermaine, Chris Bigelow. Town Custodian, Nancy Stockwell. The Building and Groundskeeper, Timothy Graves.
Motion
Are the custodian and the groundskeepers, those aren't appointments, are they? Those are,
We threw them in today.
Well, they're under positions,
they're
not
hires.
appointments.
Well, it just seems like almost, to tell you the truth, is every position in the town, it's almost, other than the highway department, has always been an appointment. One time or another, anyways, it used to be, I don't know, we're only following the lead of the past administrations. Okay, somebody make that motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve the appointments for town Dannemora positions, starting with A and ending with N.
We already did, you just start with H and go with.
no, we didn't do, we start with A, go
A
then.
through P.
Huh?
Item 6.
This is A through N, you're right, Joe.
Yeah, Joey's right, those were the committee appointments, Steve, Jim.
Do I have a second?
One by Steve, I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right. 7, 8, 9, 10, can group it all together. Line non sewer operator is Timothy Graves. Line non water operator, Martha Chase. Ledges Corners water operator, Timothy Graves, Phelan Minor. Dannemora water operator, Timothy Graves, Phelan Minor. Regards to Dannemora, this is consolidating everything somewhat, especially Shazy Lake and Dannemora under Timmy and Phelan. Means Brock Gerbil is out of the picture.
Does he know about that?
Not yet.
When did we, where did Phelan Meyer come in, who hired him?
He was hired as a trainee
For water?
for water, yes.
And he
was
got
sent to-
trained, but where did he come on our payroll?
He comes under our payroll through, those two things.
Who hired him?
I did.
How can you hire him? How can you hire an employee without telling him?
I've put it out there right now. He's
That's what I wanna
helped
know.
out.
How did you hire him without us telling board approval?
Well, I'm asking for it now.
That's a little late, Bill.
Yeah, that's an oversight on my part. But it's not like I've been hiding the fact that, I mean, we paid for his training to go to water operator. It's been talked about. Did I officially make a resolution about it? No,
No, you didn't,
no.
but it's been known.
Right. So you wanna beat that dead horse to death, or?
No, just, it's keeping us in the dark, Bill, as a town.
Nobody's keeping you in the dark. Again, you're bringing that up and you don't make a phone call or respond to an email even.
I'll respond to whatever I have to, Bill. It's no problem.
Okay.
I'm just asking the questions.
Yeah, and I'm answering them for you.
Yeah.
There's nothing being hid behind your back like you're implying, like you've been implying for 6 months now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Carry on.
you finally woke up after 2.5 years on the board.
Carry on.
Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion for the sewer operator, water operator, Ledger's Corners operator, and Dannemora water operator. Including Phelan Meyer.
Is there a primary and secondary when it comes to these two? Is
Tim's,
Timothy a primary operator over?
Tim is, yes.
So basically Phelan will report to Tim.
Right.
Right.
And there's a pay difference differential between the two?
Yeah,
Do we even know what he's getting paid?
Phelan's gonna get paid on a monthly basis, $333.
So Phelan's really a backup. What it
Right.
is.
So do we have a backup line mountain water operator?
Tim Graves.
He oversees Martha.
Well, no, he doesn't, not technically he doesn't. But between Phelan and, well, actually Tim is Martha's backup, more or less. That was all part of this, sending more than one person to the class and everything.
What's Phelan carry for a license?
He's got to be work under a year under Mr. Graves, who has the license now.
So what does he carry as, what did he pass for a test? What does he carry for a license?
He passed the course.
Can he do anything on his own? Or he has to be,
No, he's gonna be working under Tim.
so anything he does, he has to be underneath somebody else.
Yes.
So really, he's led by the hand.
But very knowledgeable guy. Who's already solved one of our water issues here with the,
It's not the point on what the knowledge is, it's what his license. What
he
is
doesn't have a license.
He doesn't have a license.
He's passed the course, but now he's gotta get the experience to be able to officially get the license.
And we're gonna pay him what'd you say, $335 a month?
Something like $3,000, $3,500 for the year, something like that.
Is there hours associated with that?
It's gonna
Hours
be,
of work?
it's like, whatever Tim's gotta do in those two places, he's gonna help fill in. We've got Tim stretched pretty thin.
What's Tim getting paid?
He's getting paid $20 an hour. But for those two positions, one's, Ledger's Corners is $4,000 a salary. Dannemora water operator is $3,000. They both understand how they're being paid.
Considering Dannemora the District 2 also,
That is Dannemora District 2.
I thought he was $2,000, Gerbil.
No, we bumped it up to 3,000 in the budget. No, it was 25, we bumped it up to 3,000. Personal services, 2,500 for 2018, 3,000 for 2019. We got a motion, did we get a second?
I made a motion, yeah.
A second.
Any more discussion?
I think, go ahead. I think in the future though, when we go and have these types of appointments, we should follow regular, if you want a position, you apply for it. We advertise it.
Well, we didn't advertise, we haven't advertised for water and sewer operator yet. Or what we have done in this town is when we're looking for one, in particular Line Mountain, when Lloyd wanted to get out, we didn't get no response.
Did we advertise it?
Yep. We did.
Okay. But you don't know at the time, you might have 4 others that want the job. So I think we should just follow policy and just post, and we don't post, then we'll go out and find somebody.
Any more discussion?
Maybe policy wasn't found, but two really qualified people are in these positions now.
I'm not saying they're not, Bill, I'm just saying, hey, there might be other people out there that we're not aware of, that's all.
Well, from my experience here, in my 5 years as town supervisor, trying to find people to fill positions here has not been the easiest thing. And what took place with Boyd Cookie and that whole mess, it's, maybe I took some liberties here, but nothing was intentional. I mean, I've talked about Tim Graves, I've talked about Phelan Minor, so
No, I
I
told
was only looking out for the best interests of the people in these districts.
Your track record isn't picking out very good people, Bill, so that's why we're just.
My track record, not very good? What are you trying to imply, Barber?
Nothing, I'm just trying to explain that it has to go by policy.
My track record, you got a problem with Nancy Stockwell, you got a problem with Leslie Dan? Huh?
You're
applied something.
Yes, I
Spit
did.
it out,
Yes, I
spit
did.
it all out, don't sit here with your accusations.
We have to go by policy, and that's the way we're gonna go by, and you can't just be picking people out of the woodpile.
Nobody's picked out of the woodpile here. Phelan Minor was actually considered and was in training with Lloyd at one time.
I know him personally, but it's
Yeah.
still a policy that you have to go by.
Okay.
Roll call. And, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No?
Opposed?
Mr. DeBrey, you didn't vote.
I did.
I didn't hear you.
He said aye.
Okay, sorry. Okay, resolution to approve highway superintendent appointment of deputy highway superintendent. Scott Sorrell, I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution to pay telephone, utility bills, fuel bills, and postage before audit.
I'll make that resolution.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution to adopt the following procedures and designation. Regular payroll, every other Wednesday. Elected officials payroll, last payroll of the month. Highway superintendent, every other Wednesday. Payroll emergencies, Thursday. Bank designation, community bank. Newspaper, Press Republican. Mileage, IRS standard rate is 58 cents a mile.
Shit, went up again?
Yeah, 5.8, just came out.
Per diem rate, hotel and meals, a state rate, Orsan policy and procedure. We have, last 2-3 years, we have, not really been any hard-nosed policy about that. I've been going with the one that was, 3-4 years ago. Shazy Lake drawdown policy and procedure. It's supposed to be every 3 years, last one being 2017.
Do you want to put it down every 3 years instead of TVA?
That's DEC that plays in that a little bit.
No, let's leave it.
So, I guess the only question I have is Orsan policy, do people buy Orsan from us? Do we charge our town residents the same amount, or how does that work? I don't know.
Charged, town of Ellenburg was $5 a ton this year.
Okay,
Residents, if they load it, it's $8.
they load it by handle, or,
Well, then if we have to load it, it's $9.
oh, okay, all right, no, I don't know, that's fine.
Yeah, no, well,
Somebody had asked me about getting some.
What was it, a resident hand loads it, what was it?
it's $8.
$8?
Or if he's got his own loader.
If
Now, do we allow that on
$8
on our own property?
$9.
$9.
You load it.
So if the resident comes in there and they want their own sand,
Yeah.
they load it themselves with a shovel?
Or whatever they got, and they bring their equipment.
Okay.
But do we allow that?
Or are we allowing people just,
Normally, what they do is they go through Mark. There's been,
okay,
I ain't got anybody that's,
all right, I don't know, that's another ballgame there.
I ain't got anybody that's coming with a shovel and saying,
No, I'm just curious.
Bring my tractor up there and follow mine, I don't know what that's gonna be.
no, most, just about everybody goes through Mark. They,
Should be $9 a ton,
And
I
then we
guess,
got-
if anybody wants that, because the gate should be locked, right?
yeah, okay.
Somewhat.
That's
Just
another-
curious, that's what I just,
Don't
Didn't even
discuss
know there
it
was.
anymore, Bill.
There's, the gate being locked, that's a whole different ordeal now.
and what do we charge the people that buy it from Canada?
15.25.
15.25. That contract runs out this year.
What time, when's that run out?
July
It's
31st.
coming up.
Yep.
July
It's
31st.
coming up on your.
Okay, so resolution to adopt the following procedures and designations, and I read them all off.
I'll make a resolution.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Alright.
Opposed?
All right, before we get into the last things, just there's in your packet, Town of Dannemora 2019 to-do list that myself and Leslie put together. Shazy Lake Beach, we talked about drilling a well. Shazy Lake Dam repairs, we got underwater specialties that's supposed to come as soon as things warm up. We talked about refurbishing the building in Lime Mountain for storage. So, I mean, there's a possibility of, that would help out in regards to, that salt storage shed down here. We've got 4 grants that, need to be worked on. We've got $5,000 from the county for a town sign down on Route 374 at Higby Road. Although, it's still, the money's still there and still something to, if it's, electronic or whatever, it's something yet to be determined. We need streetlights for the Higby Road. We've got times talked about upgrading the fuel tanks, go out to bid on that for, diesel and gasoline. We probably should modernize our fuel tanks.
And every time we do that, I think you're gonna have to move those fuel tanks, put that salt
That'll
storage
all
shed
come
in.
in play when you get all this work get
You're gonna be a
done.
lot more room than
All right.
those
So
big ones
I would-
taken out.
Organizing and cleaning Quonset hut and other town storage buildings. That's already underway with Mr. Graves. Yep. Upgrading playground equipment, bleachers, lifeguard shack, lifeguard chairs, dispose of old ones. Those are things that, actually, got the second lifeguard chair. I already contacted, PJ, who built the last one, PJ Chase. No, not related.
You brought that up last year, there's a lot of that equipment that had to go away, right? The wood stuff,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and we're gonna build some more picnic tables to replace the bad ones down to the beach. Butch wants us to get a handicap sign for the municipal building here. Another possible project, well, I guess we probably wait, is the striping in the parking lot
for you or him?
for him.
Whoops.
Oil water separator project and a new ore sand contract. I'd like to hopefully we can finalize that before May 1st, and actually the current one ends July 31st.
What's the most we sold our sand for?
1525.
That's the highest we were now.
Yeah, they used to hold the contract, it was 250 was the highest.
$2.50 for 20 years.
A stripe in the parking lot, you want me to get you somebody throw a
The
quarter in there
original
to see
contract
what,
was $1.25.
Yeah.
got crazy money
Yeah.
there?
That's got it up to
Yeah, I don't care.
But they sold out for a lot of years at $1.25.
Mhm. Yeah, the original contract that was signed back, the original one was.
Yeah, well then, but the Canadian for a lot of years told them, okay, this is what I owe you.
That's it, at the end of it, that's what we took.
Here's what I owe you. Nobody ever verified.
Another project, though, is, if you're gonna proceed with modern, doing something with the lifeguard shack to put that equipment in.
Yeah, that'd be-
Yeah,
Upgrade, Leslie put that under lifeguard check, under upgrade playground equipment.
yeah, lifeguard shops there,
Yeah. I mean,
That's like probably some extensive work to be done there.
yeah, well, this is just a possible to-do list. This doesn't mean, I mean, the main ones of Shades of Lake Dam repair needs to be done.
Yes.
Probably the drilling of that well down there. I'd really like to get that refurbished building, in Lime Mountain. All the grants, we ain't got no choice on those. Street lights, that's gonna be an easy one. The fuel tanks, we can wait, like, in regards to what happens with the salt storage. Another easy one, handicap sign, we'll get that done. Oil water separator. Just to let you know, what we got in the budget, Leslie, did you say
I carried over 118 on capital. Yeah.
capital project
Plus
money?
50, another 50.
We carried over 118, and then we put in the budget for, another 50,000. So we've got 168,000 in the capital project fund, just to let everybody know that. Anything else anybody can think of before we move on? And
Yeah, what shape is our, what's that called, the canopy over at the beach, that building?
Pavilion.
Pavilion?
Pavilion, what shape's that in?
There,
It's got a big hump in the middle of the floor.
yeah, the floor needs work.
Big hump in the middle.
On the train, yeah.
Trip
We should put that on there.
Okay, put that on there. Hump in the floor, put the,
Well, it is a trip hazard.
Well, somebody chipping gets hurt, and we're in the lab. And the roof and,
It'd be a frosty,
They worked on that,
it'd be a frosty,
they
right?
worked on the building
Yeah.
itself
probably should have an inspection done on it.
Well, yeah, because
We got a code
Says it,
inspection,
I
you should be out there.
Code inspection officer?
Well, there's a lot of liability sitting right there, we get a bunch of people underneath, and one of the legs kick out and break.
much more the kid, the kid go running through, you know, the kids aren't thinking run.
Yeah.
Is it just the floor that's got a hump in it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think the building's, I don't know.
Maybe it's someone just pulling up, yeah.
Go look at it.
As I recall, last time,
But you're right, Butch could go take a look at it and tell us, give us his prognosis.
And I don't know, well,
I think no, because I forgot last time.
so would you be able to put in a new floor on that by digging out the old one and?
Maybe they'll cut it out, huh?
Small
tarmac.
mini excavator or whatever, you go in and scuff it out. and
Josh should do it.
It's tarmac is what it is. It's like
It could be built up.
Right.
asphalt.
Those, circular, big circular saws like the fire
Like
department has.
poles.
I'm sure Josh could go in, but the only problem.
Mark's got one of them circular saws too.
To cut through the.
Probably, it's probably a stone that's pushing up. I expect that happened in my driveway, so
Yeah.
Josh did my driveway.
April here.
Well, they keep pushing up. That's the problem.
All right. Motion to assign the agreement for expenditure of highway monies for 2018.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion authorizing the highway superintendent post weight limit signs at his discretion.
This is on bridges, I take it?
Roadways.
Roadways, bridges.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, where they, prospects coming out of the ground, you know.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion approving the 2019 undertakings.
I make that motion to approve 2019 undertakings with discrepancies
Can
under
you,
certain items.
the undertakings are mine, I'll bring them to the next meeting. Why don't you hold up on that one?
Okay, table that one.
Table that until
Table
the end
number
of the
3.
month. You should all have to sign that you're
Okay.
not misdealing and all that stuff.
Motion approving the North Country Life Flight contract for 2019 of $500.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion approving the JCO contract for 2019, $87.50, $8,750.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion approving the Chattagay Lake Aquatic Invasive Plant Removal Agreement. That's for $5,000. That's at the outfit out of Saranac Lake. We paid $5,000 as part of the, it's a week worth of removal of milfoil.
They spend the rest of their money out of their budget, did they finally? Remember last meeting, you said you asked her,
They overspent.
well, they overspent.
Well, you got Chazy Lake and Chattagay Lake in that budget.
Also, they're in the same one. I make a motion to approve the Chattagay Lake Aquatic Invasive Plant Removal 5,000.
I'll second that.
And actually, just to let you know, I lowered the budget because of their being over in general fund this time.
I thought we went down a little bit.
Yeah, we went down a little bit because of their overspending in Chazy Lake. I don't know exactly how much, but. Okay.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to pay Chazy Lake Dam principal bond of $70,000, which is due in the middle of this month.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Roll call on that, please.
Okay, roll call. Bill?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes. Public comments? Don't think there is any. Next board meeting is January 23rd, 6 o'clock. Any other new business, old business?
I, started collecting taxes. I got 125,000 collected so far. So I'll be getting Leslie some money
Plus
for
one.
the warrant, plus his 17.
There, Leslie, got enough money to take care of that bee fund.
I know, I was all
So-
worried about that being from.
Has Becky been with you to learn?
She sat in with me today for 2 hours and she's got it down pat. She
Oh, that's good.
in a whole block of it by herself, did the report out of it, scanned the checks.
Those are nice cards.
It's,
did it yesterday.
We went last year, so we used it last year.
And anybody's got any, in regards to youth commission or different things like that, if you've got any ideas that you wanna, like to see, or possibly Leslie can help explore, don't be afraid to reach out to her in regards to that.
I think we should, give Art a hand when the hunt comes in, to repair the dam, have extra eyes on that.
Okay. Which way would that be?
Tim might be an appropriate guy to maybe be an eyes on that, maybe, I don't, just suggest it.
Well, yeah, well, that's fine.
If he's around, I think he's very knowledgeable about.
He's, yeah, and he's been looking for things to do, so, yeah. Well, summertime, he's gonna be kinda busy.
Art understands that, but, what if something happened or whatever, we need a fallback guy, somebody to go back and control them dams,
I know,
and
yeah,
have an eyes on. I think it'd be very wise.
there was,
We need to call him.
there's fallback guy for a lot of positions in this town, but,
I
the
mean,
biggest problem with that is spending the money.
Scott probably knows as much about that dam as anybody, because, growing up as a kid with his grandfather working there,
Well, he and Rick were the dam keepers for a while.
Howard
Rick
did it.
was, and yeah,
yeah, Rick took
that's
it
when he
over.
had the hand crank. The gates open.
Those guys know just as much about that dam as anybody.
Scott.
Scott, it's got,
That's
Okay.
right.
And part of your packet, I don't know if you guys, is a copy of the warrant, supervisor's warrant. So the amount of taxes, Debbie's gotta collect and stuff, and then there's the breakdown of the tax rates for all the towns in Clinton County.
Interesting.
Different districts, water districts, fire districts, ambulance districts,
good to know.
general fund, highway. So if you wanna take the time to look at that, see the comparisons.
Yeah.
So I was looking through that, and I see that fire districts and ambulance districts have actually started to creep up. And other towns even.
So they're paying for the drugs,
Exactly.
so that's why it's creeping up, paying for all the drugs,
Yeah.
and it's getting more expensive for the, Tech 600.
And-
Right.
And don't forget, the hospitals aren't allowing us to just take their supplies anymore.